Of all the places to sleep. Sugar. Let's see if you can see his eyes. Hi, Papa. You awake? This is fat boy. I woke up super early, 4:50, 5 a.m. because I have classes Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 7 a.m. So and Tuesday, Thursday, I usually work for the contractor, and that doesn't start till 9:30. So I wake up a little later, and I've been kind of struggling to, like, my eyes kind of burn when I have to wake up for school days. So today's a contractor day, but I woke up super early anyway, walked the babies, and I've decided on a schedule because I have a lot of goals. I'm a very ambitious person, and I've come to terms that the downside of being an ambitious person is that you have a lot of goals, short-term goals typically, and you achieve them and you don't really pursue becoming an expert at anything. Someone's drinking water. So I decided that as much as I want to be I see a squirrel running, like bolting towards me. I think it just realized that there's a living, moving person inside. As much as I want to be better at like making fun content, informative content about what I learn, and also become better at videos and editing them, I feel like quantity is sometimes what I shoot for rather than quality. So I'm just gonna upload every other day, maybe skip one more day on some days, because I think I'm going to upload Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturdays only. And that's about it. But I wanted to share this little story, which is kind of irrelevant from this video, but I walked with my dogs at like 5 o'clock in the morning today, and it's so funny. Sugar has leash reactivity, the bigger black dog that I have, and he is worse at the reactivity when I'm holding his leash or when I'm walking him rather than when Vince walks him, because I think he can always sense my nervous energy. Not like because the person looks scary that might be walking towards us or whatever. It's usually just because if that person has their dog, I expect Sugar to be bad, so I have like that, my heartbeat goes a little bit higher when I know that there's a dog coming our way. But this morning, 5 o'clock in the morning, there's nobody walking their dogs. I feel safe because Sugar's a bit bigger dog, and I have another one. I have TD girl. So, you know, I think people are just kind of, regardless, I don't feel like I'm gonna be targeted or anything like that because I have those two dogs. But this morning, there was a guy walking at 5 o'clock in the morning wearing a gray hoodie and some kind of like casual shorts, whatever. And he was wearing this huge backpack, like a backpack that was like really full. And he was kind of like walking a little, like you could hear him walking towards us, and he was walking pretty like brisk. So we crossed the street towards the street that he was on, and I was holding Sugar, and Sugar saw him, and then he immediately started to get to, like, I know when Sugar's about to react, and Sugar's gonna be like a fish out of water on the leash, just like wanting to bolt towards a dog or bolt towards something. And he was just about to do that. He was getting like huffy puffy and like about to get excited. But this was like a second before I noticed this person, because I could hear him walking towards us, and I already noticed that he didn't have a dog, so I immediately got calmed down. But Sugar was like huffing and puffing and getting to that like high red level after I had already kind of processed that there was no dog coming and relaxed. So it was really strange, because the only other time he's been like that over a person was if someone was carrying like a grocery bag or like a white trash bag or something, and they were, you know, holding it at the lower part of their arm, holding it by hand, and it kind of looked like it could have been a white dog walking on the ground. So because the bag was close to the ground. He's also kind of scared of plastic bags, but this person did not have that. He had a big backpack. And I was like, hey, Sugar, relax. It's okay. It's okay. That person's just going to work. And I talk to my dogs out loud. I don't say it that loud at 5 o'clock in the morning, but I was talking to them out loud and it was so quiet. I'm sure that person could hear. So that person walked to this car and I wasn't really staring at him at this moment. I was like crossing the street, gonna go this way. He came this way. And I just heard the sound of someone holding their car door and then just kind of like trying to open it. And then I kept walking and I'm just like looking down and watching, making sure the dogs don't eat anything off the ground. And then I realized that that person jiggled the door and then kept walking. So basically he was just trying to break into that person's car. So I was like, that's effed up. And I looked back and saw that he was looking back at me. And I was just like, wow, that is so fucked up. Like, people that park on the street, something that they might have in their car is likely not very valuable to a stranger for them to sell or to keep. It's likely very valuable for that person, some kind of sentimental value or something specific to that person, you know? So it's like so fucked up. Like, I fucking hate people who steal. I've had someone break into my car before and they stole. I had like a pouch like this that I used to use, but it was like way smaller. I have this in like multiple sizes that my coworker gave me. And I had a small one that I would carry in my server apron. And I left my server apron in there and that was in there. And basically I had like maybe change and my pens that I would use for work, and I had a white apron that was like folded, or maybe it was like scrunched up and it was in my car. So it's like, okay, they're gonna steal a fucking apron and you couldn't even see the pouch in there. And then like they went through my glove compartment and I think that person lived there or they got in somehow, but they took my garage remote for the apartment building. And it's just like such an invasion of privacy. And like, I get it, you know, there's crazy people out there, people that don't have a lot, and that's all that they can do to survive. But it just made me mad. And I was like, oh, should I just turn around and follow him and so I can get a picture of him or something, or just kind of like approach that person and be like, hey, maybe I can help you look for a job. Like, you're obviously gonna go home, take all those things that you found, either keep it or you're gonna sell it. Maybe you're like really good at selling things online or something, or selling things to people, and then you could use that as a skill for good, help people that want to get rid of stuff. And I was just going through this whole stupid conversation, non-existent, non-had conversation in my head my whole walk home. And then I was like, it's not my responsibility to punish this person. It's not my responsibility to figure out some resource. And what could have happened if I approached that person and he got very defensive and tried to attack us? But all this to say, I think Sugar is just onto something. I think he just knows when someone is bad or someone's up to no good, because when he reacted that way, and that person didn't even have a dog or a plastic bag or anything where I could kind of logically make an empirical guess as to why he was acting that way. I think it's just like an innate thing that some dogs, because TD doesn't care, innate thing that some dogs have when they can sense someone's energy, and it's a bad energy. So anyway, that's all I wanted to share. I think that's all. I'm gonna keep it at this because it's getting super long. Oh my god, I just recorded for 9 minutes talking about that. Sorry. Okay, so I'm back. I finished my shift at the contractors. Oh, I just remembered that I have to invoice them. But anyway, it was a very long day because I haven't worked 6 hours straight since last week Thursday. But anywho, I wanted to kind of follow up with what I had come up with on the plans, and ultimately the thing that I made a mistake on was the floor drains. So DFUs, the drainage fixture units, is the quantity of the load, you know, the solid load, liquid load that's going to go through a fixture. So for a floor drain, it's really for prevention, so that should there be a clog from one point of the drain, it doesn't clog and the dirty water go up another fixture, like a vegetable sink or a different kitchen sink or something like that. So to prevent that, for commercial structures, they would need to install a floor drain. But because it's not, you're not like purposely trying to, I'm gonna sneeze, it's like right here, you're not purposely trying to drain anything through the floor drain, there isn't really a DFU, it's 0. So taking away those 4 units, I think I ended up getting 41. And that one labby where the person that drew out the plans didn't even draw out the drains and the trap, I did not take that into account. But should that be included and completely filled out, it would have been +1. So I also wanted to add that I soldered for the first time ever a couple days ago. I think it was on Monday, and it was really hard. I suck. I got so nervous having a torch in one hand and just having this silver long wire in my other hand, and it was just hard to control. I freaked out a little bit, and I was just so all in my head about about how difficult it was, and how the person that did it before me had done it so easily. And yeah, but I would definitely want to try again. I'm like one of those people that learn by, like, I learn quickly. I just need to make all the mistakes first. So anyway, it's, and school is the best time to do it because you're not on the job getting paid to do it, and wasting people's money. I'm paying to get this experience. But anyway, tonight I have homework to finish. I have 10 pages of the National Center for Construction Education and Research Chapter 4, Level 2, Chapter 4 to read, and then I have to write out the questions and answer the questions on page 17. So I'm learning about the rough-ins for water closets. Like, the rough-in measurement is from the center of the flange that's on the floor, that center to the finish wall. So instead, if you're putting in the flange and you're marking where the water closet's gonna go, you want to look at the floor plan and see, not only look at the floor plan, but also look at the manufacturer's manual, manufacturer's plan, or manufacturer's recommendation on what the rough-in should be for that particular water closet. The distance from the tank, the back of the tank, to the finished wall should be about 1 inch. If it's a little bit less, it's probably okay, but it would take that into consideration when they have rough-in measurement specifications by the manufacturer. So we learned that when you mark where everything is going to go for the finisher, you might forget to add 1/2 inch of drywall, or some bathrooms have tile walls, and tile could be 1/4 inch. So you got to add those in when you mark the rough-in measurements. So all these things, it's kind of, I have learned this before. 10, 12, and 14 is a typical rough-in measurement for water closets. I have learned that last summer when I took plumbing. So a lot of these things are review, but it's really going into the depths and the details and the logic behind why things are and how to figure them out. And every teacher is different in their teaching style, but this teacher, I love the teachers that I had last summer, but this teacher is definitely, and it could be because he's level 3, he's going into detail, and it's not really about memorizing. Like, if you don't know, there isn't just a universal number for things. It might depend on the specific water closet that you're installing. So look at the manufacturer's manual, and all the answers should be there. And if you're doing it for a new construction, consult with the architect, consult with the general contractor, who is kind of overseeing every element of the project. So that's what I've learned. I'm gonna finish this homework. Thank you so much for watching. I post videos Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. Subscribe if you want to. And yeah, I gotta do this homework. Peace out.